military strength to like the Soviet Union and to other countries like Japan towards like the end of the war, to show that America, even though they're in the Western Hemisphere, like they can have a lot of influence and that they're really strong. And it also the like the Manhattan Project, which was like part of like the funding for the bomb and like how it got like supported. A lot of people in America like wanted and put this like scientific like investment and wanted it to be successful, and so there was kind of that pressure of like that it's this big like development that they wanted to use. And because Japan had not like agreed to the surrender from earlier, America just decided that that would be like the quickest way to end the situation.
So when you say save lives, you mean that they would have had to invade Japan,
Yeah.
take it over, to invade the mainland, and for just enormous numbers of deaths it would take. So that's what you're talking about, right? When you say that to save lives, certainly save American lives. There was a DBQ on this topic a few years ago about you had to assess was it to end the war, or was it a measure to intimidate the Soviet Union and to end the war before the Soviets can get involved? So already the war's not over, and there were Cold War considerations. They knew that it was going to be the U.S. and the Soviet Union that would be the global superpowers. And one theory is that if the war went on a little bit longer, the Soviet Union was going to make it to Japan first. They would control Japan, make it communist, and that would be a big difference in the post-Cold War world. So there was possibly some other ideas there. And the documents that shows evidence, people writing their memoirs about what happened. But let me ask you, was the United States justified in using this weapon? Anybody feel that it was a bad precedent to set to use such a weapon? Ariel, what do you have? You're a World War II expert, so what do you have on this?
On one hand, it was a good idea. It ended the war pretty quickly and saved, and even though it killed, I think, over 200,000 people,
yeah, I think that's about accurate, yes. And mostly civilians.
Yeah, it saved many more. But that's only like a short-term outcome, because long-term it created one of the biggest problems today with nuclear proliferation.
Right.
And even when dropping, every time there's one of those bombs that drops, it's making the same and lighting the entire atmosphere on fire and killing everybody on the planet. So there's always a problem with that. So maybe
one bomb could do that? If it goes awry, it could really have that much.
Yeah, it could cause a chain reaction.
Wow.
The ending line to Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, we know, was against nuclear weapons after.
Like, you're gonna watch it.
Right, after he
So it's
created.
on the board for nuclear proliferation, and he actually felt very close to that. I don't want to move.
I think it was a smart move on the United States' half, because I do agree, like, it would have so many, the United States would have lost so many soldiers had they had like a land invasion, and it wouldn't necessarily have achieved the goal if they wanted to. The war could have kept on going. I think the bomb itself was a bad precedent to set, because as we know, like, obviously the United States developed it first, and quickly after it was the Soviet Union. Now we have like around 8 countries in the world that have nuclear weapons, and it's very dangerous because like the hair trigger like theory, or like at the very like within minutes the entire world is effectively blown up. Very serious things about it like that, but I understand why they did it, but I think just nuclear weapons in general.
So you feel like developing one was the wrong thing to do, but using it was the right thing to do?
I think in the circumstances, yes. But I think developing it in general, there was no, I think it was such a new technology, and there were so many better, like, obviously nuclear power is a much better way to use technology, and the first thing I think that would do it is drop weapons, which is unsurprising, but I think it's sad. But I think it was a bad precedent to set to develop it, but once it was developed, I think
Okay, Michael?
I think that the whole problem, especially with weapons during this time, is there wasn't any clarity on each side, on like the Allies and I oh my god, I'm blanking. The other side. The Axis, yeah, sorry.
Priority in what respect?
In like how much progress they've made. It was on purpose. Like the Germans didn't want to let the Americans know whether or not they were close to making the bomb to keep the Allies in like scared. But I think because of that, it led to both like sides trying to make as much as a development as possible and to make it something as dangerous as possible so that they could have the more powerful weapon. And I think because of that, it led to such a it was also such a massive breakthrough in such a short period of time, which was also like in like a few years, in less than a year, I think, they were able to make such an insane weapon, and then using it is I think what was also interesting is that it wasn't like Oppenheimer made it and the scientists created it, but it wasn't their decision whether or not to use it, and they didn't really have a say on that either. So I think it's interesting to kind of see it from their perspective, and especially there's this interview where they brought a survivor from Hiroshima, and they surprised him with the pilot who dropped the nuclear bombs on Hiroshima, and it was just so interesting to listen to like their dialogue and like how he felt, and seeing it from both perspectives, and seeing how like much guilt the American people who were in charge and who made it happen must have felt after. And I think that's why Oppenheimer was such a good movie, because it really showed all of that. It showed the fear from the Germans, and then it did at the end show like the regret, and showed the and I think that last line where he says that like Ariel said, that how like it could have blown up the whole atmosphere, and then he says, I think we did that. And so I think that really shows how much of an effect it had on the trajectory of history. Like ever since then, that's been the biggest fear of nuclear war, and everyone trying to compete to have more and more. So it kind of led to this like chain reaction, kind of like the actual bomb. Yeah.
So you mentioned about the transparency, and that's something that if all countries were about it and all agreed not to pursue nuclear weapons, we'd all be safer, right?
Yeah.
The problem there is, well, how do you know that the other side will
Is being
live up
honest.
to the agreement? You stop doing it. Stop doing it, right? He said trust, verify.
The transparency thing, I remember a few years ago that they were the NPT, and they would have like they would have both uranium enrichment plants for power plants because they wanted to develop nuclear power, but they also had secret plants and that they didn't show anybody that enriched uranium to a bomb level. So they were secretly working on a bomb while the rest of the world was thinking they were like being nice and playing nice with everybody and being part of the nuclear non-proliferation treaty.
And getting the bomb is the ultimate equalizer, because now you have to be taken seriously. You look at a country like North Korea, one of the poorest countries in the world, right? People there are starving, but they are trying to get a nuclear weapon because that will give them leverage that you have to listen to us, you have to take us seriously. So there's an incentive to get one to get power for your country, which of course makes us all much more unsafe.
Yeah, because if you have an atomic bomb, it's sort of like you have a shield around your country. Nobody can really push you around anymore, because if they do, you'll just bomb them with an atomic weapon. And for another country that has it, you can't really fight each other directly, because they'll just blow each other up, mutually assured destruction.
Right, the acronym is MAD. Corey, last word on this, and we'll move on.
So I'm not like fully well versed in the entire science behind these nuclear bombs, but I feel like as we become more technologically developed over the years, and more countries are starting to get their hands on nuclear weapons, I don't know that. Maybe that might encourage more defense sort of strategies put in place, and certain technologies that might be manufactured to counteract the effects of nuclear weapons. I've thought about that a lot, where these things are so destructive, but at the same time, I'm sure there's someone out there who's in the process of creating something that will counteract those effects. So
Well, in the 1980s, in the Reagan years, they were pursuing something called SDI, Strategic Defense Initiative, that went by the nickname Star Wars. because that was exactly the plan, that
Yeah,
from
Star
outer
Wars plan.
space, you could shoot these down before they hit their targets. That was something that the Soviets were really afraid of, that if we get that, we're gonna have the upper hand, they would be vulnerable. And there were some scientists who said it was feasible, but most scientists would say, at least at the current level of technology, that it's not feasible. And all you're doing is making nuclear war more likely, rather than less.
Something I find very interesting, like about that and about all, like a bunch of wars in general, is that a bunch of major technology we use today come from that. So if Star Wars did happen, maybe that could have actually done something. Like I know microwaves were invented because of radar, atomic, nuclear power, because of atomic weapons, and a bunch of planes and other technologies that get off as really big tech. So maybe if they did do something, that we could have had a very different.
Right.
Isn't that a saying, like, war?
In war, you often get new technologies that later get applied for peacetime. All right, let's see how you can do on these. Start on these. I haven't started studying in earnest, but this is a good barometer check.
Yeah, what did you all think about that discussion? Are you guys pro or for or against nuclear weapons? Leave it in the comments down below.
I'm all against nuclear proliferation personally. Yeah, I am. I do think.
Oh, that's what you had?
Yeah, that's what he had.
Is that why you wanted me to smell it?
What?
I thought you wanted me to
They did
smell
both, yeah,
chocolate.
They had it as a sandwich.
A chain reaction.
Chocolate spread.
Thank you, by the way.
That's the part I smell.
We're still working on it,
You just
guys.
told me that.
Chain reaction that will ignite the atmosphere.
Yo,
No, I'm not even
chat, do you guys want to help me, chat?
Yeah.
Jim bomb.
Let's get started on
With the
these.
same.
Chat, can you help me?
No. No, but that's
Do you have any good recommendations for other like sites where we can find additional questions? Like I know at the Regent site they have those websites, but
Not really. Just the review books, the AP site itself.
okay. Like the classroom, the AP
Yeah.
classroom. Okay. And you assign like a questions section.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
We talk about the Roosevelt car line?
Yeah.
Yeah, that did come up when we did that chapter. That's expanding on the Monroe Doctrine. Right? Not only we will not let foreign countries try to take colonies in the Western Hemisphere, but we reserve the right to intervene in the Western Hemisphere if it's in our national interest. That was Teddy Roosevelt.
Epic.
There are a lot of examples of the United States getting involved in foreign nations' affairs.
We're done.
in that time.
We're done.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Trooper,
Yeah.
for the first picture, is there like a date that like usually it has under there like a date?
Yeah, well, it's guys doing work, right? They look like they have shovels.
Oh no.
Oh no, for this one.
With a big
Oh, okay,
Where it says
yeah.
puck.
Doesn't have a date, but she's got on the top of her head, it says world power, right?
An expansion.
And the smoke coming out says expansion. So that should help you out.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a quick question about the National Origin Act. So I was reading about how like these quotas were set for immigrants. Would you mind explaining like what exactly a quota is and like the content of that?
The quota is just a numerical limit. Once you reach this number, that's it. No more can come in. Like if they say 1,000 people from Italy, once 1,000 come in, we stop.
So it wouldn't be a situation where it arise where like a bunch of immigrants are on a boat and like only like, I don't know, say 30 are allowed, 30 more till they meet the quota and then the rest of them turn around. Like,
Theoretically, I guess that can happen, but maybe they made announcements beforehand that, don't send any more over. I don't know exactly, but that's the idea. And they based it on how many of that group are already here.
Oh, so there was a lot of Germans or whatnot.
Right, so there weren't a lot of Eastern and Southern Europeans, so 3% of a small number is a lot less than 3% of a bigger number, which were more Northern and Western European. So it tilted in favor of Northern and Western European immigration.
Got it, okay.
That's the first time they ever actually put a limit on how many people can come in. They're afraid of radicals, anarchists, communists, from all the tumult that was going on in that part of the world, from the Russian Revolution, etc.
Yeah. Do you think anything like that would be implemented in the modern day?
I think so, because it's a very anti-immigrant
Yeah, I know.
move now. So absolutely, forget about quotas, it's more of shutting it completely.
Oh, completely. So,
Yeah. Especially from, say, Mexico.
oh, 100%.
So you know what's an interesting thing is that Trump's first wife was actually originally an illegal immigrant.
Oh, was she illegal? I don't know if she was
Yeah, I
illegal.
read that she's illegal.
Not on this test.
Your sources
Oh, right,
are like
Ivanka?
random Instagram.
He's talking about lowering taxes. He's talking about lowering taxes. But who would be most happy about lowering taxes? Business.
Who never said no? He said he didn't want to raise taxes.
I'm opposed to extremely high rates.
What are we up
We
to?
must have tax reform. I'm opposed to extremely high rates.
It doesn't say
Let's take
anything
these
about lowering
executives, the industrial workers.
All right.
I got two
I'll put it
more.
up on the board, but I'll give you a few more minutes.
Two more, Pete.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
How many do you have? You should have
20.
34, yeah, okay.
Oh,
Some tricky ones there. Hard ones. Without the text, so with the text will be. With the reading will be easier.
What'd you get for 15?
Got it, Corey?
Not yet.
Next one?
We're really good.
I gave you one.
It's not. Yeah, you're not on the right page, buddy. For 15? That's 15. Can I ask you a question? For this one, for question number 15, it's talking about President Calvin Coolidge's speech. So, and then it says members of which of the following groups would have been most likely to agree with the perspective.
Well, first of all, you should remember that he's a pro-business president. He said, I don't know if you might have been absent for this, he said that what's good for business, what's good for
the
business is good for
the-
America.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's very a pro-business type of thing.
And over here it says that tax reform, and he's opposed to extremely high rates.
Right.
So wouldn't that be, we cannot finance the country, we cannot improve, even if we attempt to inflict it upon the rich. So wouldn't this perspective be,
No, but he says we cannot finance the country.
Yeah.
We cannot improve social conditions through any system, even if we attempt
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
So he's saying that wouldn't work.
yeah,
So that would tell you that he would,
business executives would agree with that.
exactly, yes.
So, okay, so it wouldn't be,
No.
No.
Because he's talking about anti-reform, right? He's talking about
like lowering taxes.
Right,
And,
right.
and not hurting the rich.
opposite of the progressive.
Yeah.
At the end of it, he's saying that they need to like have a system where anybody could be successful. So, like that's why I thought that maybe the answer is C because it's like
Right, well, yeah, I can see that, but when you have a little more context about what he's about, you know, but, when he's saying anyone could be successful, it means that through hard work and initiative, not some government program.
Does this look the same to you?
Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, so to speak. Rugged
Does it say 15? Yes, it's A. I told you.
Where did you
Doesn't matter. This is, I should have pointed that out. This sentence is the one that does it the most.
No, I know.
Even if we attempt to inflict language. Yeah, you can't focus on one
No,
sentence.
I like it.
Not you
Focusing on one sentence.
No, no,
Also,
the whole thing. We must tax reform. I'm opposed to extremely high rates, and then this whole sentence, and then this sentence. It doesn't
my
necessarily.
sentence is like a third of a paragraph, so.
All right, bro. It's not even. Okay, you want to go? You want to go word for word? You want to go word for word?
You did that to yourself.
People get angry about one question. People get one question wrong, and then.
You're forgetting about all the other ones too.
No, yeah, but then people get one question wrong, and then they start tweaking out on you and being irritated. My bad, I guess. My bad for having the right answer. Trying to get you to have the right answer too. No, my bad, because it's just.
You're right.
Oh, this be dumb. Okay, stream. This stream. What do we think about this situation?
I'm gonna work.
Yo, type L in the chat for
So
Jonah.
understand with those topics.
It's not even cool what you're doing though.
Honestly, what?
That's
No, I just didn't.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, in that
the
case.
part about it, I think we should take tests in another room. Because I always get questions wrong.
Gonna be online.
Oh, so we can.
I'm actually really sick. I never take that.
oh yeah. Keep that still.
You know, look at
Oh, no, I'm not gonna do it on.
One of the objectives of Woodrow Wilson's plan was
my last stream. Look, I got a strike.
Regents is on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if they'll make this shift. If they make this shift.
Yeah.
You won't have to worry about it.
Did you post the answers?
Okay?
Oh, well, yeah, because you can't write anything.
It's just the whole thing?
Essays
Nice
like
one.
loaded.
What's wrong with you?
But they let you.
Don't fight.
Yeah, let's go. Right now.
And then you can go back and
And on video, threatening me, get him out of the school. Just want to confirm that this is the person sitting next to me.
I was even
Get out of the school.
uncle who would text you in the place where the doctor said.
I thought about maybe having you.
What type of doctorate does he have that says
The reason we didn't do that is because of the chat GPT, not that you guys use that, but.
Oh what?
what's that?
Type up your essays.
Oh, yeah, I called it by his nickname.
What's chat?
It's like
Actually, I
Sure,
have
would be fine, but.
I don't mind.
where I have to like.
Oh, that would be good practice, like really
why doesn't the teacher just
Becky just.
I like the writing. The writing is just easy.
You have the option. You want to
It's fun.
What, typing? No.
Why'd you ever leave?
All right, for next week's essay, I'll give you the option, you can either type it or write it. To be on the honor system.
Yeah.
Watching.
Well, I think you can trust that.
Dude.
I think you can
Dude.
trust that.
What do you keep saying, dude?
Also, you can like look from behind, you can sit behind the class.
Good.
That's what Becky does.
I actually think there's a way to lock a computer onto
There
the
is.
tablet.
Those are
Yeah.
Only on Chromebooks, not on.
You have a Chromebook.
Ariel has a
So you can
Chromebook.
lock it.
Ariel's computer is locked, and we can all use like master locks. I'm joking.
What does that even mean?
As long as like.
You
All
know,
right, I'm gonna give you the answers on the board. If you're not
seems right.
done, you can write them on the back.
oh, this is a tiebreaker, Jonah. This is a tiebreaker for this question.
No, because the thing is yours counts more because it was on.
If I got this as a practical choice,
No,
I
I'm
would be
talking about
pissed.
only this time. I also went over here where I got it wrong.
Which one?
No, I don't mind.
I don't know which one. It was. I don't remember. It might have been this one. No, there was the one where like.
Oh, wait, these ones.
Yeah, well. Oh my Lord.
It's my handwriting, that's why you don't want me writing on the board.
Mr. Matthew has
I know.
some questionable handwriting.
I don't think there's a 9.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
A. Oh. What? No. What was this?
no Hollywood.
Snakom. Ora. Oilo.
Oh yeah, he's right.
Hamish. Check.
He's right. He's right.
Check.
He, the teacher's right.
Shesh. Zedi.
Can you stop saying it out loud, please? It's really fun.
Shesh fish.
Shesh.
Because there is no 9. Because it's from 8 to 10. What?
8, 9.
That's 7.
11, 10, 9. 9 is X. Why is 9 is
Because there's no 9.
It's
Because
pandemonium.
7, 8, 10.
It's pandemonium.
How many times are we gonna have to say this?
Pandemonium.
Sorry.
Chromacopia.
Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing for you.
I got this one wrong too.
Yo, dude, if they give me the small butchers right now, I would get over
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I could check some of these. Wait, there's a wrong.
12.
Yeah, sometimes I do that too. I
Schloss
correct them and I
Second.
put it
Yeah.
back.
Ja, Anio.
I'm not even gonna. You're the type of person to like try to find a pattern.
Pattern recognition.
Mikey.
Saying that is devious.
CDC,
No.
The
Center for
No,
Disease
TB,
Control.
yeah.
oh,
I would remember the defensive back.
what's the FTC?
Agir Agir.
I wasn't.
Is it como?
So.
What's what
Ken. Oj, det var just det. Oj, det var just det.
Agir, can you send me that picture?
Yeah, I will. Why are you guys doing this? You guys do.
When I was 22.
What, are you filling them out? I want to be able to answer them later.
Yeah, we have a. Just mosey on it? Go ahead.
Saying mosey on it is devious.
Okay, Mike, you want a picture?
All right,
Yeah.
folks. See you on Tuesday.
All right.